just wait for you to. Are you live? Oh, you press live. All right, let's make a start. Wow, this is loud. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Phil Yules. I work at Secura as a lead developer advocate and in charge of kind of looking after the NF Core community as best I can and Nextflow. Thank you all for coming to the NF Core Hackathon for October 2022 in Barcelona. It's fantastic to see so many people here in person. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. The last time we had an in-person event was back in London, in Crick, in, when was that, 2020, March? Just before COVID struck. So it's great to now sort of feel like we're coming out the other side of that and see all of you here today. So I'm not going to hold you for too long. We're going to get started on hacking soon if you guys haven't already. But I just go through a few kind of introduction slides, talk about some logistics, talk a little bit about how we're going to work. And then when I finish talking, Maxime will do a quick demo of some GatherTown, just to show how to get in and working with GatherTown. Also, for anyone watching the YouTube live stream who haven't yet logged into GatherTown, that will hopefully be helpful for you guys. And also helpful for anyone in other time zones who will be watching a recording of this in a few hours' time when they've woken up. Then once Maxime's finished, we'll have group leads coming up from each of the different hackathon groups to talk a little bit about what kinds of things they'll be working on, so that hopefully you can make a bit more of an informed decision about which group you might want to join to work on. But the groups are totally fluid, so don't feel like it's a binding decision. You can move around as you like. Right. Firstly, just a quick note of how many people signed up. This is definitely a record. I think this is probably about double our previous record. So fantastic to have so many of you here in person and online. Sorry for those of you who missed out on registering online as well, if anyone's watching. I know we hit a limit as to how many people we can fit in the rooms. And I think everyone here in person will agree that it's probably good that we did set a limit because it's already quite warm. So, 289 people registered, and we've got 51 of those, plus a few extras in person, and 238 people online. Amazing numbers. Just a quick look at the schedule. All of these times are in Barcelona time. So we've had arrivals, and this is now the welcome talk on the 10th. Today, so we're going to do the intro now, then there's going to be some food just over here for those of you in person for lunch, and then we're going to just get started. And we've tried to keep the schedule quite basic this time. So there isn't too many scheduled things. We've just got these big blocks of just time for you to work on whatever you want to do. So we've got the whole afternoon to work on NF Core hacking, and then at 6 p.m. We're going to get together and have a daily summary. And we're going to have one group lead come from each group and just try and summarize what everyone's been working on in their group. Not very long, very informal, just to get a feel of what everyone's doing. And then this evening, after that, we're going to have a social. So we're going to head back to the Secura Labs offices, which are about a 10-minute walk. And we've got some treats lined up for you there. It's just low-key kind of pizza and some drinks, but just a chance to see kind of the home of Nextflow, if you like, and chat to everyone and hopefully have a fairly chilled out time. Then tomorrow morning, you can kind of start arriving. You should be let in any time from 9 o'clock onwards, and we'll just get started right away. Lunch, and then more work, and then we'll have a daily summary at the end of the day. And then tomorrow evening, we have the major kind of hackathon dinner, which has been very kindly sponsored by AWS. And we're all going to head out to, well, I don't want to say too much. It'll be a bit of a surprise for you, hopefully. But it will involve food, and it should be a good time. And it follows long-standing traditions of Nextflow meetings in Barcelona for those of you who have been kicking around for a few years before. Then Wednesday is the last day of a hackathon, so we'll just do the morning, and then we'll do a final kind of hackathon wrap-up talk, where, again, we'll just go through things. And then after that, the main Nextflow Summit kicks off, and that will be downstairs. For those of you joining online, this welcome talk and the summaries are all going to be live streamed onto YouTube. And if you're joining within GatherTown, you should hopefully see in the hackathon room kind of a button where you can press X and watch the live streams there as well, so you can follow along or catch up at a later time. Those of you, and these are on the NF Core YouTube channel, not the Nextflow channel. So the Nextflow Summit will have live streams as well, and those are on the Nextflow channel. But all the Hackathon is on the NF Core channel. Right, a few logistics for those of you here in person. We have 3 rooms booked for the Hackathon, which hopefully most of you have already seen. We've got this one, and which is called, I meant to write the names and I forgot anyone, example, which is the main room. So we have about space for about 40, I think maybe I wrote this down afterwards. Then we have a middle-sized room, which is just there, which has got kind of a table for 14, I think. And a big TV if you want it. And then we've got a really cute small little room over there just around that corner called La Barcelona, which has chairs for 6. So these are our main spaces for working in, and we're not going to say specifically this group has to be here, this group has to be there or anything. We'll leave it up to you just to fan out as best you see fit. So after we all finish talking, you can try and sort of like mingle around until you find everyone else working in similar groups and you guys can find an appropriate space. If you want, then there are some tables in the corridor if you just want small kind of one-to-one conversations. But please bear in mind this is a co-working space and there are lots of people doing their day jobs here. So try not to make too much noise, especially in the corridors. And if you want a bit more space from that, you can also go down to the foyer and there's lots of kind of soft seatings and stuff down there. So you can also find a bit of space down here if it gets too much up here. Wi-Fi. Hopefully everyone's found that. There's some signs on the desks as well. But it's the Wi-Fi network is called Loom. Good, I think everyone's already found it. Normally everyone's taking photos at this point, but you guys are well ahead of me. Coffee, very important. We all get coffee delivered in here this afternoon at 4:30. You can also use the machines in the corridor. The little capsules are decaf, but the main machine should be regular coffee. And if you want something a bit fancier, there's a cafe downstairs in the foyer. If you want any water, just if you turn right out of this room, almost straight away on the left, there's a kitchen, signposted cook, and there's taps and stuff, so you can grab water. This whole floor is circular, so if, like me, you miss it the first time, keep walking. You'll find it eventually. And same with toilets, also kind of around. You can see we've got some photographers here who are going to take some photos of our exploits. And if you have any problems with that, please just kind of wave and ask them not to. Same, they might be taking photos of things on your screens and stuff, so just sort of try and bear that in mind if you have anything that you don't want to end up on the NF Core website. Either hide it or ask them not to. And also I'd encourage all of you to take as many photos as possible, basically. I'm going to do a wrap-up talk at the summit on Friday, and I want to have something to put in my slides. So please, take lots of photos. Take screenshots of Gather Town and everything. Document what you're doing. Stick it up on Twitter or whatever. And I'll be using this as stock material for talks for years to come. So, but yeah, just bear in mind that make sure everyone is happy with screenshots online and stuff as well. And if you're putting things on social media, please try and use the hashtag #NextFlowSummit. Just so it makes it easy for other people to find as well. So general workflow for how we organize ourselves within the hackathon. Number one thing, once you've all kind of found a group, found where to work, is just to chat to everyone else, see what everyone else is involved in, talk about ideas, think about different things you want to do, and sort of find a consensus. And because we have a lot of people here, it's probably a good idea to try and find kind of mini subgroups within the larger groups as well. So just find someone to pair up with. It's a social activity, so find someone you're comfortable working with. For those of you working online, same story really. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult to have a real full integration between online and in person, but you can still kind of find groups online and work within them. And we'll have Slack and to kind of communicate between everybody. And if it makes sense, then we can also drop in together quite easily from in-person to kind of have bigger discussions. So please be very vocal on Slack and shout and tell us if you want to chat and let us know how you're getting on. Once you've kind of made friends with everybody in your group, go to the GitHub project board. So I can quickly show you this. This is linked from the event page as well. But if you go to the NF Core GitHub organization, go to Projects, and then you can see here it's recently viewed, but you can also see it under the Projects tab. That there's one called Hackathon Oct 2022. And then this is where we've collected issues, GitHub issues from across all the different repositories on NF Core, and they're labeled. And the way that GitHub projects works is this is kind of a master overview, and then we also have tabs here for all the different working groups. And you can see that we can kind of do statuses and move them around and stuff. So this is where, if you're not sure what to work on, this is where to go to find specific tasks, and this is how we organize ourselves. If you've got something specific in mind, please make an issue, add it to this project board, and assign it so that everything is listed here, so we don't accidentally have people duplicating work. This is especially important because we're doing it as a hybrid event, and that we have quite a lot of people, so this is the source of truth. So once we've got an issue, please assign yourself to it on GitHub. If you can't assign yourself, it's probably because you're not part of the GitHub organization for NF Core. Hop onto the NF Core Slack. There's a channel called GitHub Invitations. Post your GitHub username there, and someone will add you. And then you should be able to assign yourself to that issue. And then everyone knows that you're working on it, and it's sort of claimed for you. Don't assign yourself to loads of issues. Just do the one you're working on right now. When you're finished, make a pull request, and push your work, your changes to that GitHub repository. If you're new to GitHub, please have a look on our NF Core bite size. Under events, you can find all our bite size talks, and we have a whole talk by Alex, I think, which is all about kind of GitHub workflow, what issues are, what forking means, how to make a pull request. So check that out first so that you're familiar with the process. Now, what we always have with hackathons is we have loads of people come together for a few days, do loads of work, submit loads of pull requests, and no one does quite as much reviewing. And then it takes us about a month afterwards to merge hundreds and hundreds of pull requests. And also remember that this isn't just push your work and you're done, it's a feedback process. So the idea is someone else reviews your code, makes suggestions, you talk to them, you go back and forth until everyone's really happy with it, and then you merge. So please try and find some time to do reviewing as well. And we can kind of swap pull requests. We've got a request review channel on Slack. You can pop your request in there, find someone else who's also waiting, review each other's code, and hopefully that way we finish the event without some massive backlog of pull requests, because that's not really helpful. So put your pull request in, try and find something else to review while you're waiting, and then move on to the next thing, basically. We're using HackMD to make slides and records, so you can make a note of this. There should be links in your Slack groups for each group, and you can also chat to your team lead. So just keep making notes every time you do stuff there, because otherwise it will get lost. And again, for my talk on Friday, it's nice to know roughly what we did. And then, yeah, do a little party, have a little celebration, get a cup of coffee, and start the whole cycle again. Any questions? Is that clear? All the links and all this is written down on the event webpage. So if in doubt, just go to the NF Core website and click Current Event. As you've probably got by now, everything is happening on Slack, so please use that as your primary place for discussion and everything. You can get an invite to join here if you're not already on Slack. And once you're in Slack, use the channel browser to find all of the hackathon channels. We have one main channel just for sort of general discussion. If you're asking when does the next session start, when's lunch, I'm hungry. Things like this. Where's the coffee and is it decaf? So that's the kind of general chat channel. And then we have channels for each group. And again, you can join all of these if you want to, but this is where all the sort of discussion around those specific tasks will be going on. And then don't forget, we've got a Spotify playlist channel as well. If you drop a message into there, there's a bot which will add your song that you've requested to our NF Core Spotify playlist, and then you can hop onto Spotify and enjoy a truly random mix of music. So we've been doing this for a couple of years now, right? So it's already quite a long list. It's everything from like hard rock to Disney. So that's something for you all to enjoy and get in the mood. Right, quick reminder that we do have a code of conduct for NF Core, which covers events in person and online. So by being here and by being part of this event, you're kind of agreeing to abide by these rules. You can check it out on the website. Just go to About, and then code of conduct is pretty easily well written. It's quite easy to read. It basically boils down to sort of just be a nice person. Just remember to take breaks. Don't overdo it. Talk to people, don't take photos without consent and things, and just try and behave in a sensible manner. Especially if you're coming to this hackathon relatively new. Maybe you haven't been to any hackathons before, maybe you're fairly new to NF Core, to collaborative coding and things. Have a look on the NF Core website under events. We've got all of these bite-sized talks. I mentioned one about GitHub contribution basics, so you can see number 4 there. But there's tests about all kinds of different topics, specific pipelines, but also lots of things talking about how we work within NF Core. So this is a really good place to go to get help if you can't find it in the traditional documentation. All of these are live streams, so they're all on YouTube. So well worth having a look through. And on a more general note, we've got the whole YouTube channel. We've got the Secure Labs training. I don't know how many of you were involved in the training last week that we did online, but you'll be very familiar with this training material if so. And of course, we've got the NF Core website. We've got a few kind of social events for the hackathon, fairly low-key during a day, and all of these are both for online and in person. Firstly, James is doing his tradition now of running a bingo. These are sort of a set of in-jokes which might not make much sense to you right now, but by the end of a hackathon, hopefully you'll be laughing with the rest of us. Things like GitHub going down always happens. Me usually, I don't know, whinging about, I don't know, I can't remember what cards are there now. But if you go to the event webpage, you'll find a link to it, and it's just a web browser tab. You type in your name and tick off things as they happen. And when you get a bingo, shout in the NF Core Slack, and James will write down your name. It's worth playing because this hackathon, for the first time, we have prizes, which haven't actually arrived in the post yet, but we do have prizes. So we will be keeping a list of names, and we'll see if a post in Germany is fast enough, maybe they'll be here in time for Friday. Otherwise, we'll be posting them out after the event. So yeah, make sure you tell us if you get bingo, and then you can start over again and keep going. Those of you who've been to previous events know that we have a bit of a thing about sort of socks and NF Core swag. It's sort of become a meme within the NF Core community now. So like previous events in Gather Town, we have hidden socks in Gather Town. So if you come across some sock emoji, do we know how many people are looking for yet? Or we'll post in Slack maybe. When you hit the magic number of secret socks that you found, which Maxime will post in Slack, then shout about it. And if you're the first person to get there, again, you get a special prize. And then there will be more socks added for further rounds over the days. So find the socks. And last but not least, we have a quiz, a fun Kahoot quiz. So it's an online quiz, which we're going to do in person and online all together. And that will run on Wednesday morning. And there will be a link on the website again. Just want to say thanks to the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, who have very generously given us funding for Nextflow and NF Core. It's through this funding that, well, some of us have stood here for starters, and also means that we can do things like buy nice bits of kit for you. There's been the NF Core socks in the past, and hopefully everyone has been given a little green bag when they came in, which have also got some goodies in. Some of them are for the Nextflow Summit itself, which start in a few days, so you guys get yours early for that. But there's also a bit of NF Core swag in there. We have an emoji for NF Core socks, so we'll see if by the end of the event we have an emoji for NF Core umbrella as well. So hopefully that's kind of a bit of fun for you all. Right, with that, welcome. Hope everyone has a really, really good time over the next few days. The few of us are going to stand up and talk now, so you'll know who we are. So if you have any problems, just come and shout, wave, come and talk to us. And I'm looking forward to actually getting to see many people who I know so well online in person. It's a real pleasure to have you all here. Thank you very much for coming. And then I'll hand over to Maxime.
Hello. Yes, it's better with a mic that works. So, hello everyone. Yes, I assume you see the same screen as I. So yes, I'm going to explain what Gatherton is. So yes, first to begin, I'm Maxime Garcia from Karolinska Institute and the SciLife Lab for the moment. And yes, so basically, Gatherton is the space where we are handling the online events, the online part of the event. So if you already are logged in and have a Gatherton account, it will look like that. So we have the regular NF Core Office that we use like most of the time, but now for this event and for the Nextflow Summit, we have this specifically dedicated like space, which is Nextflow Summit. So if you never connected any before to Gatherton, you just need to enter like the address for this event that we add in the website, and that will lead you to the space. You need to enter with the same email address that you use for registering to the event. Otherwise, you won't be able to join. If anyone has any issue connecting to Gatherton or anything, just ask around on Slack, and we'll help you like about that. And basically, if anyone has any issue with anything on Gatherton, ask me. That will be faster. Or Chris is doing like a lot of stuff. So basically, that's what happened when you arrive in Gatherton. We arrive in the main lobby. That's here where we are. That's Gatherton, so it's super simple. You use the arrow on your keyboard to move around. When you come across something that you can interact with, you can just press X and then you get some information. So it can be either like a website. Here it's an information board, so we see information about the hackathon. And then basically you move around to see where you need to go. So obviously right now we are doing the hackathon, so we need to go to this room, which is hackathon. I will show that later. We have like one room for the poster for the summit, where you can see the poster around. So you just need to go like in a poster, and then you can actually see a poster. What is the information about the poster? This is all available on the website already. And that's basically like what there is about Gatherton. If, for example, you get like, let's say you go like too far away and you get lost, you don't know how to go back to any space. So let's see, I'm going like on the rooftop. As you can see, we're in Barcelona, so we have a nice view over Barcelona. And now I'm completely lost. I don't know how to go back to the space. So what you can do, you can press on your personal menu, and you can click respawn to actually restart from the main entrance. So that's actually fast. Or what else, or what you can do as well, you can click on the name of someone and say, I want to follow this guy. And then you follow him. Where are you, Alex? Okay, Alex is okay, he's here. So you see, it works well. And then, yes, just continue when you're here. So here, this is the hackathon space. We have the YouTube embed like a video here at the bottom. So you just press play. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have like some weird feedback loop around, but it works. And then you can sit like at a table to discuss with everyone else. So we have dedicated table. And when you're entering like a space, you can see here I'm on a private space, so I can only talk within Gatherton to the people that are in the same Gather space as I. Hello, Matthias. And I think that's all for me. Oh, no, I forgot the most important part of Gatherton. You can dance by pressing the Z letter, or you can actually like throw confettis around by pressing F. And so that's important. That will be super good. And yes, so there will be socks hidden around. You might need like to have like to go through some walls and stuff like that. So definitely you will get lost. And if you get like too lost, don't hesitate to respawn or just like try to locate and find someone. So I hope that I didn't forget anything. If I forgot anything, I will let like everyone know on Slack. And if anyone has any issue, same as usual, like come and ping us on Slack. Thank you again. Phil, back to you.
Who wants to go next? Anyone want to go volunteer for take a group? Partial. Not too long, remember. Sorry? Your software,
Cheers. Hello? Wow, that's loud. Okay, sorry. Amazing to see all of you guys here in person. You know, just it's a massive difference to interacting with you via Slack and offline and stuff, and just seeing all of you guys around in person is amazing. So thank you for coming. Some of you have come from as far as Brazil, the States, Canada, all the way around. So yeah, really appreciate you guys coming in, and hopefully this turns out to be a great event. Before I drag on more about how amazing this is, I will introduce to you the sub-workflows team. So one major thing we've been trying to tackle on NF Core for a while now, and we've just put it off because there's been other things going on and other fires to put out, is using sub-workflows on NF Core. So for those of you that don't know what a sub-workflow is, what we have is this NF Core modules repository at the moment, where we have units of Nextflow, so process level modules for tools like FastQC and so on. And that's matured quite nicely now over time. But now we want to go to the next level. And the next level is installing chains of modules, or what we call sub-workflows, directly into pipelines. We've started working on the tooling for that. We have a few commands already that we can start using and testing. They're not fully mature. So yeah, you may need to take it easy, but tell us exactly what's broken and we'll try and fix it. So the plan for the sub-workflows team mainly is to just improve everything around sub-workflows, the documentation, the tooling that we've got in NF Core tools, as well as starting to add these sub-workflows to NF Core modules as well. So as I mentioned, we've got some basic commands that are running already, and pretty much like you would add a module to NF Core modules, you can use a similar process to add sub-workflows as well. If you need any help, shout on the sub-workflows channel on Slack, but it'd be great to have you guys contribute and help out, pick us. Next. Thank you.
Documentation? No. No? What do you guys? Pipelines.
So, hello everybody. Rika and myself are leading the pipelines team. This is sort of the bread and butter of the NF Core community. In our team, it's mostly using the time for each pipeline dev to focus on their particular pipeline, adding new functionality, bug fixes and things like that. DSL2 transition is a big thing at the moment. So this is sort of pretty standard for the hackathons. Nothing really new there. The main thing we want to trial to get around the review requests that we've had issues in the past hackathons is have a buddy system. So we're going to have a table, and you can sign up to buddy with someone who will basically give you rapid feedback throughout the hackathon. Online on GatherTown, we have Luis, who is going to be our online coordinator as well. And generally, if you're interested in helping out with one of the pipelines, we are in the other room just to the left of the main room here. So.
So hello everyone, welcome to the hackathon. So we're gonna have in that table and the table on the top on the GatherTown, the documentation group. So if you wanna contribute with documentation, feel free to join us. If you're a beginner, you wanna learn about Nextflow and NF Core, it's great. You're gonna read the documentation, find orthographic mistakes or a better way to write something. So if you have a lot of experience with some pipeline, you can contribute with documentation for that pipeline. So everyone is welcome to come. For people who are new, it's going to be nice because in our table soon, Fran Bonath is going to give a short talk about how to use a few things on the project board and how to do some improvements for the documentation. So feel free to join us and watch her talk. So thank you.
Yeah, so Jose and me, I'm Gisela. We will be leading the modules team, and the idea there is to contribute to the more than 600 modules that are already available in the NF Core modules repository. So if you have a software tool that you would like to have add to a pipeline, creating a module, and the idea is that those modules then can be shared among different pipelines. And yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to contact any of the two of us, and also Luisa Perello, who will be our online representative of the modules team.
So hello now to the infrastructure, which makes all of the other things running. The lead is me and Julia over there. We are also present on Gathertown if you want to join us there. And the main tasks are, like Harshal mentioned already, working actually on the different commands for the sub workflow, to create, to lint, and all of these things, which is, yes, exactly Python code. If you just want to write some Python, we're very welcome to host you there. Similar, like if you want to write some Python tests, our tools could get some more test coverage. So it would be very nice if somebody could help us there to write some tests for all the different commands we have there. And write a small prototype project is also running with the NF test. You might have seen on Slack mention small, like, proof of concept happening there, which is for the NF Core modules repository. And if you don't want to write Python, but more like JavaScript or PHP, we have loads of bugs on the website, and you're very welcome to join there as well. It's also very like beginner-friendly place there with smaller but very necessary tasks we need to do for the website. Thank you very much.
These are the guys you want to buy coffee for as well, because usually we find that you'll all discover bugs in the tooling as we go along, and then you need to go and plead with them to fix it for you. So, did I forget anyone? I think that's all the groups. Okay, great. In that case, just thank you very much for coming again. Lunch has arrived for those of you here in person, so we'll grab some food and then we'll get started. And I hope everyone has a really good few days, and we'll chat again at the end of today to do a wrap-up. Cool. Thank you, everyone.